Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and Giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things Giallo here on TheKingInGiallo. This is another unscripted talking head movie review. This is for the 1965 Proto-Giallo, Night of Violence, also called Call Girls 66, directed by Roberto Mauri. Yeah, so I promise I will be quick with this one. I actually watched two 1965 Proto-Giallo films, one after the other. The two that I had not seen from that year. So I decided, why don't I just watch both of these, give them both a review. It's going to be fast. So, Night of Violence. I didn't like this. So, a few things to consider. 1965 is still fairly new to the genre in terms of it, there's still Proto-Giallo films. Yes, Blood and Black Lace did come out the year before, but I don't think it was an influence hardly at all on this movie. One thing you will see with a lot of these early mid 60s Italian films that are sort of horror, sort of thrillers, is they will be in black and white, because that's kind of the standard for a movie to be horror is, oh, look, we did it in black and white. Blood and Black Lace kind of, I wouldn't say that single-handedly broke it, but in terms of the genre as it is developing, it kind of showed that you can go in the opposite direction and not just use color, but like really use color, really utilize it. Stark colors, vibrant colors, use the lights. You don't have to make it naturalistic lighting. You can actually have fun with it and play around with the lighting style. But then you get movies like this that are still in black and white. But I don't dislike this movie for that reason, because 1965 was also The Possessed. And I absolutely love that movie. That was, I think, my favorite Giallo movie of the 60s is The Possessed. But I will say this. In this movie's defense, the original runtime is an hour and 31 minutes, and the version that I watched and the one that I also uploaded on my channel is about an hour and 17. I think there's like it is about an hour 17. When you look it up, it does show that there was a lot of edits, a lot of cuts made to the movie, and I don't know how much of that was pertinent to the plot. It said it was mostly nudity, but I don't know, but it really felt like this movie was missing something. The Giallo film that was really in my mind the whole time, because it's kind of similar, is AAA Masseuse Good Looking Offers Her Services. In terms of, so initially you're following a prostitute, and she is the daughter of an ambassador or something like that. She gets stalked and attacked by someone in a mask and killed. And then you're kind of following the other girls who were working with her as they're also getting stalked and attacked. But for the most part, they're always kind of getting away. They're surviving because they'll always call out. One thing another thing I'll say about this movie is every time a girl got attacked, it followed the same template. They would, the person would come out and very, melodramatically like attack them, and they would be screaming aiuto, aiuto, and then it would cut to someone in the vicinity overhearing them and coming to their rescue. Except for the first girl, when she called out help, help, it was like two lovers, and the guy was like, did you hear that? Oh, someone's calling out for help. And the girl's like, I didn't hear anything. And he's just like, well, okay. But other than that, every other time someone came to the rescue. Going back to that, yeah, the movie felt very like there was a lot of leftovers of that previous type of horror movie, melodramatic. Gosh, I didn't really like this. Like anytime there's violence, it's very like over the top and comical, dare I say, or yeah. And I will say also that the police in this movie are incredibly incompetent, terribly. There's one part, a woman goes to the police and she's talking to them, and she says she does not feel safe to leave, and she's asking if she can just stay in one of the cells. And the detective or whoever's just like, yeah, you'll be fine. And she's like, please, just, I like, if you just let me stay overnight in one of the cells. And he's like, no, you get home. So you're following the investigation, like the police investigation, and it's not particularly interesting. A lot of the people, the survivors and guys who came to the rescue, all noted that the attacker looked like this particular actor. And when they go to interview when the police go to interrogate that actor, he seems really cool, really, he's got nothing to worry about. He doesn't seem like he's hiding anything. And he's filming a movie, and he's able to talk with the assistant, who's like, no, 2 days ago you were here until like 11:45. Yet last night you were here until about midnight. And so he's got an alibi. He absolutely could not have done these attacks. I'm like, okay. Also, another thing I just remembered is there's a random nod to Pasolini, and then a minute later to Fellini. Like, they literally named the directors by name. Okay. Also, maybe don't do that. They're much better directors. Yeah, so the vast majority of this movie is this investigation, and then it turns into like a drug ring, and yeah, the cops bust it, and they're chasing these guys, and yeah, again, just super incompetent. It's one of those things where like the cops split up, and the one guy's hiding, and he comes out and he like attack. Again, I don't know what else to say. It's just very bad, very cheesy, it seems like leftovers of like the 1950s ways of doing movies. That's just very over the top. Yeah, there's honestly not much I can really say in this movie's defense. I feel like even the movies I don't like, or the ones that I leaned on the side of not really caring for, I at least have something to say, or I can at least see how someone could enjoy it. I don't know if there's going to be anybody who really, I mean, again, do check out the movie. Don't take my word for it, but I'm going to be really surprised by anybody who actually enjoyed Night of Violence. It's not particularly directed well. I'm not saying it's bad or any of these things are bad. There's just nothing is memorable. I would really classify this movie as like forgettable. I will not remember this movie in like a month. The directing is not really impressive. The writing is worse. The acting is not great. Marilu Tolo, who was in My Dear Killer, is in this, and for the most part she's good, but then she kind of gets a little melodramatic as well, so I'll chalk that up to the directing. I don't know. But yeah, all in all, this one is very, very forgettable. If I was to give it a one-word review, that's what it would be. But like I said, I don't know if the full-length movie is better. I will also say that I watched about halfway of this movie, and then I restarted it because I was having a hard time like being engaged. And at a certain point, they're like interviewing guys, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, I really need to watch this again, make sure I'm paying attention. So it's one of those ones that even I was just struggling. What else can I say? It was reminding me a bit of A.A. Masu's Good Looking, offers her services. But besides the setup of prostitutes being attacked, so this is kind of a spoiler. You know what? I'll just spoil this movie. If you don't want to be spoiled, you just skip this. I'll put a timestamp right here. Skip to this part, and you'll be good. I was assuming that the killer was either going to be this first John that you see the first girl killed with. I was like, maybe it's him. Maybe he's jealous of her seeing other guys. Or I was thinking maybe it's her father, because he's got a reputation to uphold, and when this girl gets killed, the story breaks that the daughter of this ambassador was a prostitute. Oh, she was involved in a drug ring. That doesn't go anywhere. None of that goes anywhere. This is one of those Giallo movies that in the end the killer is like nobody we were introduced to. And if I'm wrong about that, then I missed that. Then I must have really been not paying attention near like the last act of the movie. But yeah, then at one point everyone is saying that it's this other actor. Well, anyways, we find out who the killer is, or we meet the killer, but this I thought was hilarious. So Marilu Tolo's character is doing her own investigation to find out who killed her sister, who was the first girl killed, and she ends up in the crosshairs of the killer. And she's like, you murderer, you killed my sister. And he says, no, I didn't kill her. I'm not a murderer. I didn't kill her. Like, I didn't mean to kill her. I was trying to keep her quiet, and she died accidentally. I didn't kill her. And then I'm like, okay, well, you did kill her. That's manslaughter. Like, if you didn't mean to kill someone and you killed them, you still killed them. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. And then the music became like really sentimental. Again, I've used the word melodramatic a lot in this review, but melodramatic. And this guy is talking about how he was in Japan at the end of the war during the atomic bombings, and he got severe radiation burns, and he was turned into this freak, and they weren't able to fix him. And so he's had a hard time finding women, getting women. And so I don't know what his plan was to attack this woman, and like, I don't know if he was planning to like SA her, R her, but he's trying to be sympathetic, like it's not, I didn't do it on purpose. And then the movie is like trying to make his plight sympathetic, and I'm like, that's just stupid. I'm sorry. But anyways, the police surround the house, this like random little house in the middle of nowhere. They literally, it's like a row of police cars with their lights all on, and they're like, we have you surrounded. And then he runs with the girl out the back door, and there's no cops out there. They see him running away, and they're like, oh, there he goes, get him. And I'm like, again, how incompetent are these cops? How hard would it be to actually surround the building? And he goes up this little tower thing with the spiral staircase, goes up it, and he's like threatening the girl. He's got like a, I forgot what it's like a World War II submachine gun. It looks like it's a German submachine gun, which I thought was interesting. Like, shouldn't have been Japanese, I don't know. He's got her at gunpoint. They're up like, I don't know, 40 feet, and the police are, there's a whole standoff, and they convince him to like let her go, and he's like, okay, get out of here before I change my mind. She goes down, and then they tell him like, drop the gun or we're gonna shoot you, and he's kind of telling them to just shoot him. And so then he starts, and then they shoot him, and then he falls. And it's funny enough, the sound effect of the machine gun going off is like still going long after he's actually dropped it. And he falls. And I will say, this is the one redeeming thing about the movie, is the fall actually looked good. I mean, I didn't care to rewind it, so I wasn't really scrutinizing it. I didn't know if it was a fake body or an actual stunt, but in terms of falling in a Giallo film, it actually looked decent. Guy falls, and then his mask falls off, and that's the end of the movie. It's like, it's just a like close up on his disfigured face, and like that's it. And yeah, this movie is incredibly forgettable. But in terms of the evolution of the genre, if you're interested, check it out. Pretty sure I uploaded it. You can check it out. Unfortunately, it is still the censored version. I cannot find the full-length version. I don't know if it's available, but this is one of those ones that it's like, even if it is, it's like, I ain't gonna buy it. I'm fine with the viewing I had. Anyways, that's all I got to say for this movie. So let me know what your thoughts are on Night of Violence, also called Call Girl 66. Have you seen it? What do you think? Yeah, no, I'd be very interested to hear something positive about this movie, because this is one of the few ones that I just found almost completely irredeemable and just boring, forgettable. Yeah, I don't want to say bad, but I remembered having a problem with what is it called? The Redheaded Corpse. At least that movie was kind of interesting. I can't say there was really anything interesting about this movie. The motive of the killer was like, okay, I haven't seen that before. But again, it's so like crowbarred in at the last second. It's like, okay, well, I hate when a Giallo movie has a mystery. I mean, they all have a mystery, but I hate when the reveal has nothing to do with the mystery. It just comes out of left field, and you're just left like, well, how would I have ever guessed that? Unless I just... It makes me think of like role-playing games. D&D, I don't play D&D anymore, but Call of Cthulhu, where you have a mystery for your players, and then at the end, if you just like revealed it's some new NPC, that it's like, well, how the fuck would we ever have guessed that? You've never introduced this person. So I don't like that. I don't like rug pulls in Giallo films. I think it's the most egregious crime you can commit in a Giallo film, is just, surprise, it's this person that we never were introduced to. Like I said, I could be wrong, and maybe they mentioned this guy earlier, but I was really struggling to pay attention. But anyways, those are my thoughts on Night of Violence. Like I said, give me your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it. Otherwise, that's it for this one. I'll see you at the next one. The next one will be for Monster of Venice, also called The Embalmer. It will be the review for The Embalmer, which is the US cut of the movie, because I don't have the Monster of Venice cut. But anyways, yeah. So you can see my thoughts on these two forgettable 1965 Giallo films. Uh-oh, spoiler alert on my thoughts on that movie. Anyways, thank you for watching. And yep, this is Tanner Leeser for TheKingInGiallo. And if nothing else, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
non ho l'età per uscire solo con te. Se tu vorrai aspettarmi, aspetterai un bel pezzo.